Someone asked, "What is self-realization? And why do I feel so empty even though I try to do all the right things?" That is a very serious question, not something to casually answer. Let's go slowly into it. First, let us see what we mean when we say self. When you say, "I want to realize myself," what is it that you think you will find? Are you trying to become something more than what you already are? Or are you trying to uncover what you truly are underneath all the layers of noise, images, beliefs, and pain? Most people carry an idea of the self as something fixed, like a name, a face, a story, a reputation. You say, "I am a teacher, I am a Hindu, I am a mother, I am depressed, I am successful." But are these really you, or just labels that you wear like clothes? These labels are not the self. They are given to you by society, or you have picked them up in your journey like dust sticking to your feet. When the body dies, these labels will vanish. So then what remains? Is there anything real beyond these identities? Let's observe this together, not to believe what is said, but to see it for yourself. A man may spend his whole life collecting money and still be miserable inside. A woman may dedicate her life to helping others and still not know peace. Even monks, who leave everything behind, sometimes remain caught in ego. So clearly, outer activity, however noble, does not necessarily lead to self-realization. And yet we all chase it in different ways, through ambition, prayer, service, even romantic love, hoping that somewhere, somehow, we will find fulfillment. Isn't that so? Someone says, "I want to meditate and become enlightened." But why? Is it because you are suffering now? Is it because you are tired of the confusion in your mind? Is it a desire to escape your current state? If so, then even that desire is rooted in becoming something other than what you are. And all becoming is a form of conflict. It says, "I am this, but I should be that." The very effort to become something creates the division that prevents self-realization. True self-realization is not about becoming. It is not about adding something more to yourself. It is about seeing what you are, clearly, completely, without filters. And in that seeing, something strange happens. The false begins to fall away. The masks drop. And what remains is a quiet presence, something untouched by thought. That is not given by any guru. It is not found in books. It is not a result of years of discipline. It is discovered when you begin to look without trying to change, without judging, without escaping. "But I am full of thoughts," you may say. "How can I see clearly when my mind is always chattering?" That's a very real concern. Most of us live in our heads, spinning stories, repeating the past, imagining the future. Thought is useful. It builds bridges, writes poetry, solves problems. But thought cannot touch the truth of who you are. Why? Because thought is always old. Every thought is based on memory, on the known. But you, your being, is not a memory. It is alive now. Watch a child playing. There is joy in just being. That is the original state before the mind is trained to become somebody. Before the child is told, "Be good, be successful, be like your brother," the child is simply present. That innocence is not childish. It is sacred. Self-realization is not achieving something new. It is returning to that simple awareness. Let's take a simple example from daily life. You are walking in the morning, and suddenly the sky is golden with sunrise. For a moment you are just there, silent, watching, without naming the colors, without thinking how beautiful it is. That moment of pure perception, where the observer disappears and only the seeing remains. That is a glimpse of self-realization. Not the full flowering, but a taste. But we miss it because we are too occupied. Even while walking, the mind is busy, thinking about yesterday's argument, planning today's meeting, worrying about the future. So the beauty of now is lost, and so is the truth of who you are. To know yourself, you must first be with yourself, not as an idea, not as a memory, but as a living reality, without interference from thought. You may ask, so should I stop thinking? No. Thought has its place. It is useful for cooking, working, fixing a car, but it is not the right tool for self-discovery. Thought can describe the taste of mango, but it cannot give you the taste. For that, you must taste it yourself. In the same way, no belief, no scripture, no quote can give you the experience of self. You must look directly. Someone once said, knowing others is intelligence, but knowing yourself is wisdom. Wisdom comes from seeing, not through effort, not through practice, but through choiceless observation. That means watching your anger without trying to suppress it, watching your sadness without trying to escape it, watching your desire without condemning it. Just watch, like a mirror reflecting whatever is. When you watch like that, something begins to shift. You start to see that you are not your anger, nor your sadness, nor your thoughts. You are the space in which these come and go. Just like clouds pass through the sky, emotions pass through you. The sky is not the cloud. You are not your content. You are the silent background. You may ask, but if I drop all my identities, who will I be? That is fear speaking. The ego wants a clear definition. It wants to say, I am this, so it can feel secure. But life is not a fixed thing. It is fluid, mysterious, always changing. Self-realization is not arriving at a permanent identity. It is seeing that there is no fixed identity at all, and in that, there is tremendous freedom. Look at a tree. It doesn't think, I must be a better tree. It simply grows. It bends when the wind blows. It lets go of leaves when autumn comes. It does not suffer the way humans suffer. Why? Because it does not carry a psychological image of itself. We suffer because we are always comparing, judging, and resisting. We create inner conflict by saying, this should not be. And in that conflict, we lose touch with being. So the question is, can you live without inner conflict? Not by escaping life, but by meeting it fully, watching yourself in action, moment by moment. That watching is meditation, not sitting in a pose, but being present with what is, without interference. When you live that way, life itself becomes your teacher. Every event, every relationship, every emotion becomes a mirror. A man once asked, but isn't self-realization a spiritual journey? That's the problem. We turn everything into a journey. We think truth is far away, and we must walk miles to reach it. But truth is here now. It is not in the Himalayas or in a holy book. It is in the way you talk to your child, the way you respond to pain, the way you sit quietly and listen to the wind. The sacred is not somewhere else, it is in the ordinary, if you have the eyes to see. The beginning of self-realization is to stop running from yourself, from your past, from your thoughts. Sit silently, not to achieve anything, not to become enlightened, just to be. Watch your breath. Feel your body. Notice the thoughts passing by like traffic on a road. Don't control. Don't follow. Just observe. Slowly, a space will open. Not created by effort, but revealed by stillness. That space is your true nature, vast, open, silent. Somebody might say, this sounds too simple. Can the great truth of life be so ordinary? But simplicity is not the same as shallowness. What is truly simple is often deeply profound. The sun rises each day, and we take it for granted. But without it, nothing lives. In the same way, your awareness, your simple ability to witness, is the light in which truth is seen. One of the most beautiful things to discover is that self-realization does not make you special. It does not make you superior. It does not put you above others. On the contrary, it humbles you. You see how much noise you had carried, how many lies you had believed, and you laugh not bitterly, but with joy, because now you are free. And with that freedom comes love, not the love of possession, not the love that depends on someone, but a love that flows naturally, like fragrance from a flower. When you are no longer trying to become, you are no longer competing, comparing, craving. You are content in being, and in that contentment, a deep compassion arises for others and for yourself. So let's ask again, what is self-realization? It is not a destination. It is not a title. It is a flame of awareness that burns away the false. It is waking up from the dream of who you thought you were. It is the end of seeking and the beginning of seeing. It is a return to your natural state, a stillness so alive, a silence so full that even the stars seem to listen. And finally, remember, you don't have to do anything extraordinary to realize the self. You don't have to wait for the right teacher or the perfect moment. You don't need 10 years of effort. You need honesty. You need the courage to look directly. And you need the innocence to stay with what you see, without trying to fix it. In that very seeing, the truth reveals itself, not as a thought, not as a belief, but as a living reality. The self you were trying to find was never lost. It was simply covered by the noise of becoming. And now, in stillness, it shines again.